Okay, guys, this is going to be my review of the movie Extraction. You know what's funny? Extraction. I don't know. I held off watching this for so long because I just didn't feel it in the story. The story from the trailers, the story from what I've heard, is just like nah. What really got me to watch it was like the idea of this mind blowing action. This because that's really what I felt like I was hearing was the action was fantastic. See, I'm the type of person who loves action, but I love action when it serves a purpose for the story. See, what action sequences are is their story. It's how the story moves through a visual context. Because all good action sequences, yes, visually look stunning, and are choreographed good, but the other key thing about action sequences is they move the story from point A to point B and point B to point C. It's action is not supposed to make or break the film. The action does not make the film, but the action is a component of the film. Whereas I look at a film like this, like Extraction. And the story is the worst part. Whenever the film is not an action sequence, this film is horrible. Because there's trying to have this heart and this depth. But it's hard when literally every character Chris Hemsworth comes into contact with dies, except the kid. So just him and the kid the whole time. Like they introduce a new character, gets killed off. Introduce a new character, gets killed off. Even the main character himself by the end of the movie gets killed off. And so it's like done with a sequel. It's like, and I think that's, I don't know, that to me is crazy. It's just there's no depth and no just, they try to create this interesting story, but to me, he's not interesting. The strongest aspect, you've probably heard this a million times at the film, is the action. It's no joke in saying the action in this film was fantastic. There's a long take sequence in this movie that's like 20 minutes long with just one take. Like, or not one take, but one shake, one not take, one long shot, one long, frame. Obviously, there's edit ways to work around that, but it's so crazy to think, like, oh my god, all in one file swoop, you see all this. Obviously, you can't really, if in action sequences like that, you can't really, like, film all at once, but it's just cool to kind of see it visually. So this film visually is great. The action was great. The action made it watchable. See, it's not that, I still understand everything I'm seeing. I don't emotionally or story-wise care for it. It's just fun to see this cool dumb action sequences, but they're cool. They're still cool. No matter how distasteful or how nonsensical the story is and the characters are and the acting is, I'm not gonna lie, when the action is fun and exciting and thrilling, and the action is the majority of the time. But with that being said, every single sequence, every single moment that is not spent on action, this film sucks. So every time there's action, this film is good. I'm not gonna say great because an action is never like makes the film great. So the action's great, I should say. The action's great. Fantastic action. The story, not so much. So, because like for me, usually it's the other way around. Usually the action movies are not the best parts. Usually it's the story and these grounded characters that are the best part. But when you ain't got grounded characters and you don't have a great story, you're left with dog poop. But I still enjoyed it. I mean, it was an enjoyable movie. It was like but nothing I think is like Shakespeare or anything. Stay tuned for more videos coming right at you.